What's up, y'all? It's King Clutch. It's been a while since I last posted my last video, but I'm back. In today's video, I want to discuss what's been going on in America for the past, let's not even say weeks, centuries. It's just now being recorded. The Black Lives Matter movement is really touching on issues against black people in this country. And so basically, I was on Twitter and I saw a retweet or a repost from someone I followed or something like that, and someone said, being black doesn't give you totally authority when it comes to compassion. I care about those people just the same as you because America is not racist. Black Lives Matter fights racism with racism, and that will never achieve anything. And so when I first saw that, I was like, that's not what Black Lives Matter is about. And so I told him, I would encourage you to try and understand what the Black Lives Matter is truly about. Your usage of those people is degrading, which shows why Black Lives Matter. And so he responded and he said, you are assuming you people is about race, which is not. A thought process is a human trait and it's not about skin tone. I can't tell you how to perceive reality. I see Americans, not individual races like you. The content of your character matters more than your complexion. Now, I like the last sentence there. I do believe that content of your character matters more than your complexion. I do agree with that. However, the actions of the United States systemically does not agree with those words. Then later on he brought up black on black crime and just some more stuff. So instead of going off on a rant about this, I'm gonna give it to you guys straight.
My name is Fountain Hughes. I was born in Charlottesville, Virginia. My grandfather belonged to Thomas Jefferson. My grandfather was 115 years old when he died. And now I am 101 years old. Other people didn't have no beds when they were slaves. People slept on the floor. Pallet here and pallet there. Just like a lot of wild people. We didn't know nothing. Didn't like looking no book.
They asked someone there, was this is the right boy? And the answer was, yes. And they drove toward money.
4 days later, Emmett Till's body was found in the Tallahatchie River.
The body was so badly damaged that we couldn't hardly just tell who he was, but he happened to have on a ring with his initials.
There are major developments tonight in the case of a neighborhood watch captain in Florida who shot and killed an unarmed 17-year-old.
No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
All right. I can't breathe. It's 2020 and I can't believe I'm saying this. Black lives have always mattered. Don't get it twisted. To too many people in this world, this is an idea they've always resisted. We must wake up to our social conditioning, although it might be an internal fight. This is not political or religious, we're simply fighting for what's right. But to fix any problem, we must find its root. Otherwise, if I get pulled over, I'm afraid that the police might shoot. This isn't a case of a few bad apples. This has been ingrained into our system. When a fellow black man rightfully fights for his life, I fear the cop might say he tried to resist him. Now let's get one thing straight. All lives won't matter until black lives do. And don't forget that black lives won't matter until that includes trans, disabled, and many others too. We elected a black president and some thought racism had been tamed. But this has been going on for years, only difference is now we're recording the pain. Racism hides in the shadows of our system. According to the U.S. Department of Education Office for Civil Rights, black students are 3 times more likely to be suspended than white students for similar violations. And as soon as black youth enter the criminal system, they are 18 times more likely than their white counterparts to be sentenced as adults in this nation. But since some people want to hide behind closed doors, we can take this straight to your house. We can slip through the cracks and holes and crawl through just like a mouse. In the 1930s, the Homeowners Loan Corporation ranked neighborhoods all across the states. If the neighborhood was all white, it was ranked highly, but areas with people of color received a very different fate. Minority areas were marked as risky housing investments and colored on maps in red. This redlining was outlawed in the 60s, but it never really went to bed. The media can be dangerous, but let me not make statements without bringing facts. And just a word of advice, be careful how much you consume because it has a huge impact. According to statistics from the New York City Police Department, African American suspects were arrested in 54% of murder cases, 55% of theft cases, and 49% of assaults. But the evening news showed African Americans as suspects in 68% of murder stories, 80% of theft stories, and 70% of stories on assaults. Is this perhaps the reason why we've got men on the ground with their heads shoved on the asphalt? Although I believe race is a social construct, I have an issue with people who say they don't see color. The goal is not to be colorblind, but to not pass judgments on people because of their color.
I don't get it. Walking past the fence, then they blowing back off it. Shot over some Skittles and accused he was innocent. Grip came out and there was hate drugs in it.
To effectively dismantle the negative effects of our racial bias, we must acknowledge it exists. To pretend our preconceived notions about other races don't exist will allow the problem to persist. Until police are held accountable, until the media recognizes its racial bias, until I can walk in the store without feeling like I'm watched, and until we all can love each other like brothers and sisters.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever.
No, Black Lives Matter today, tomorrow, and forever. And when this trend is over and the media isn't covering this, I have just one question for you. Will Black lives still matter to you?